How did you receive this news?
Really, really sad news. It's heartbreaking to hear this news, awful news. I'm thinking about his family. I just had the news on social media, and I wasn't sure. I was in shock, and I just texted Lydia to make sure, the news was true, and that's a shock.
On some more positive things now. Congratulations on winning the league. How did you and the players celebrate the title?
Thank you. After the game, we just came back home, and the players had 2 days off, which was yesterday and today. So I think, the fact for them just to be with their family, with their owns, I think was really nice. So we didn't really celebrate, except like after the game in the locker room, having some nice moments together, and on the way back with some music and some good conversations. We will celebrate later for sure, because that's a great achievement.
Did you speak to Mahez about it?
We text each other. So again, she said she was so happy for the club, for myself, for the players. She's so proud of everyone, and it was nice to have her text as usual.
How does it feel to be unbeaten in both league and domestic competitions so far in your first season?
Yeah, it feels great. As I said, really competitive league. Just being able to come as a new manager and to have this really talented squad in my first season, to be able to be unbeaten, it's almost a dream. So for me, I'm really enjoying it. That's really nice. We want to stay unbeaten. We'll try our best to do that. Now for us, we are in a position where we need to find the right balance between focusing on the last 2 games in the league, but also the most important game will be the FA Cup final. So I'll find the right balance for us to try to stay unbeaten in the league, but also to be ready to compete on the FA Cup final.
It's the first time in 5 seasons that the title race has not been decided on the last day. Why do you think that happened?
I think probably what made the difference between Arsenal, Man City, Man United, and us was the fact we were able to be really efficient and clinical in that games against them. As you could see, we dropped points against West Ham, Brighton, and Leicester. These 3 other clubs also dropped points against them. But we just had the opportunity to win every single game against Man United, Man City, and Arsenal. And I think that what made the difference was that. But again, I think that's the first year we have been in that situation with winning the league with 2 games left. But I still think, again, this league is really competitive. I can't think about one game where myself and the staff, we didn't prepare the game in the best way possible. This season has been tough for us. But we had success, and I think probably also all the credit to my players, because mentally they were strong enough to perform during this season.
You already said that the FA Cup final is the most important game left. Can you use those 2 other WSL games as a preparation for the final?
Yeah, for sure. I think this weekend, as I said, will be for me to find the right balance between having a competitive team for us to be able to win again and stay unbeaten in the league. I think, some of the players have fresh legs, so it will be good again to give them the opportunity to play in that game. But also, next week will be about preparing the FA Cup final game. So I think, these 2 games are still important for us, and the one who means the most is the FA Cup final. But again, we have the goal to try to finish unbeaten. So these 2 games are really important.
Are there any updates on Ramirez's injury?
So she came today. I spoke to her. We are not really concerned. She just feels a small pain in the front of her knee. So she's okay. I think probably she will need some days to settle down. with the pain, but yeah, I'm not too concerned. I think she could be available for the last games in the season.
And just one off topic, we will have the Euros in the summer. Probably some Chelsea players are going to be there. Are you going to watch it? What is your expectation for the tournament?
Yeah, I'll be there because Switzerland is not too far from where I live in France. So yeah, I will be really happy to go there to watch games because that's my passion, and this competition will be a really good competition with great teams. I think the game opener for England will be against France, so yeah, a really good game for me to watch. I will have some players involved in both teams, but my job is to make sure I prepare individually every player to be able to perform in every game.
Sorry, just one last question. You've coached previously another great club, which is Lyon. Now that the season is almost done, what is the biggest difference you could see in both leagues?
I said maybe the biggest learning for me is coming in this competitive league. I'm someone with my staff who is really committed. I spend a lot of time working hard, making sure every detail is just ready to go into every game. When I mentioned the fact, like for the staff and myself, we worked so hard this year to try to help the players to perform in every game. We always made sure like we gave them the best game plan for them to feel comfortable going into the game. But when I reflect a little bit about the season, like yeah, when we had to face Man City, they just changed their manager just before the 4 games. So we had to watch a lot of games from Nick Cushion when he was in New York and everything. So yeah, we spent so many time studying the teams, studying the league and everything. So yeah, it feels just great when you work so hard, and I know we are not the only ones. All the other clubs are working hard, but when you achieve your goals and you are able to achieve that in your first season, I think the feeling is yeah, really great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sienna. David, thank you.
Thank you very much. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Félicitations pour cet titre.
Thank you.
It's great to sort of see, you win in your first season at Chelsea. What does it mean to actually win a league title here at Chelsea? And did you sort of anticipate, winning the league in your first season, so quickly?
If you remember when I came, I just said like this club already achieved a lot before I joined, and I think my position was making sure I was reinforcing the message with the ambitions in the club. So I'm lucky enough to have a squad with a lot of quality and talent. I'm lucky enough to have ownerships who support the women's team in this club. I'm lucky enough to have the sporting directors who are always behind me. I think I felt the support from the club, everyone in the club from the beginning. I settled in well, really well, in the football club, but also in London City, and I'm really enjoying. So I think that's part of the success, just the fact the club was supporting me, supporting my staff, supporting the players, and also, we settled in well, we felt well. And from almost the beginning, I felt home. So I think if you want to have the best of myself, that's how you need to proceed, just for me to be really fully committed in the club and to give my best version. So it feels great to be able to achieve that. But again, it's not only about me. Obviously, everyone helped me to be the best version of myself and for me to help the club in the best way possible. But also, the squad I have, it's so much easier when you have the quality and the talent.
And obviously, speaking of the talent of the squad, there's a bit of a Lyon influence in your title-winning campaign as well. Lucy Bronze, scoring the winning header at Manchester United. When you look at players like her, players like even like Ashley Lawrence who've been at Lyon, how important have they been in terms of helping, this team win yet another title, but also being able to help the younger players as well? I know we've mentioned before the influence that they've had with the younger players, but how does their influence sort of help the younger players sort of reach that potential and to always be consistent?
Yeah, I think, as I said, I'm lucky enough to have in my squad leaders who lead by example, and that's really important for you to have that leaders in the squad, in the locker room. I think I am a manager who is really demanding to my players, but I also make sure they understand why I'm doing that. And also I'll try to find the right balance for them to feel my support, because I know it's never easy to achieve these big goals. Just to have the chance to have that type of leaders, Millie Bright, Erin Cuthbert, Niamh Charles, Lucy Bronze, Kera Roche, I think, they are all on the same page, trying to go for the same goal. We are all going to the same direction, and I think for the young players to have these examples in the locker room, that's the best thing you can have. They lead by example. They show the example every day on training pitch, on game days, and I think for me as a coach, that's the best thing you can have.
And despite missing out on the Champions League this season, really, what is it that you sort of learned from that defeat that sort of helped you guys sort of get over that line to win the title? And do you think moments like that really sort of add that fire to your squad, not only to your squad but also to yourself, to be like, okay, this is Chelsea, but there's so much we can achieve?
Yeah, I said, like, from my first season, we wanted to achieve a lot of things, and the Champions League campaign was something we wanted to reach the Champions League final. But we couldn't this year. I learned a lot about these two games against Barcelona, even if I still think like Barcelona is the best team in Europe. We'll have a lot of room for improvement, and I think we already achieve a lot. But actually, I'm really confident in the future we'll achieve even more, because I think there is room for improvement in this club, and that's the positive thing. We already achieved, but we can still be even better. So that's really nice from every aspect, in the squad, in the staff, in the infrastructures, everything. So it's a nice feeling to know, like, we are in a really good position. We are in a position where we can still achieve the treble, which is something really good for a first season if you are able to achieve that. But also knowing, like, we have room for improvement for the future to be even a better team, that's a nice feeling.
And obviously, just a few more questions for me. We talk about winning mentality, and obviously Chelsea is known as a club to have a winning mentality, not only in the men's team but also in the women's team as well. How, as a winner, are you able to sort of harness that sort of winning mentality? I know there's winners in the team already, but how are you able to sort of keep that winning mentality going? And is it some sort of, like, I don't want to say addiction, but is it like a healthy sort of drug to be able to sort of have that winning mentality, to be like, okay, like winning one league title or winning the Subways League Cup isn't enough, and that I want to be at the top every year?
Yeah, I think you mentioned some interesting things in what you just said. I think for me, like, we just won the title on Wednesday. I could be in a mood where I'm thinking about it and really enjoying, but I'm already focused on the next one. And this is an obsession for me, and I think for most of the players in Chelsea. So when you start your season, you focus on your main goals, and you want to make sure you do everything right to succeed. And I think that's kind of sort of obsession, what I said. So mentally you need to be tough, you need to be really committed, you need to work hard. So that's a mentality, but this mentality needs to be also on the pitch, leading by acts. And I think my job is to make sure I lead by example also for my players, and I'm never like satisfied when we win. I want to win with having more goals difference, or defending better, or scoring more goals. So this is this mentality where I'm lucky to have, again, in my squad, players who have the same, and it's really powerful every day in training sessions and games.
And obviously, just the last question for me, you've got obviously 3 games left this season. Tottenham on Sunday. You also got, Liverpool, the final game of the WSL season, and also against Manchester United, in the FA Cup final, May 18th. You look at those last 3 games, what is it that you want to see from your team now? And how do you sort of find the balance between sort of like being obviously this serious manager that perhaps people find scary? Maybe not me. I don't find you scary. You're very friendly.
Good to know.
But how do you sort of find that balance between sort of like having that seriousness, but also being able to sort of be able to enjoy, playing top football at the same time?
Yeah, that's a difficult balance to find, but a nice one. I prefer to be in my position rather than being in some other positions. If sometimes I look scary, I think it's fine for my kids, most of so not maybe for you, and I don't want to look scary for you, but if my kids finds me scary, it's fine. But going to the point, sorry for that. I just think like for us, as I said, we want to be at the top. So being at the top means like we know we are already champions and we have the WSL title, but we want to stay unbeaten. And I think that's part of the mentality, because I could be thinking like these last 2 games doesn't mean a lot for us, but just the fact we want to stay unbeaten, it's something like for us as a mentality, but also for the club, really great. And I think that's when I say I'm never, I always want more. This is, again, I want to finish these 2 games in league in the best way possible, from the result, but also from the performance. And I know if we want to have a big chance to win the FA Cup final, the best way to do that is to prepare that game, and the next 2 games are a way to prepare the FA Cup final. So you need to stay serious, but in the same time, I'm not lying. Like this morning we had a small group in training session. I was probably way more relaxed in training sessions, smiling more, being more joking with them during the training session. Probably it will be more the case tomorrow. So it's finding the right balance. I know the game will be the most important, so tomorrow I will be serious, but also finding the right balance with joking with my players and enjoying these moments.
Any French jokes there, or you keep it to yourself?
I'll try to do them in English, which doesn't end the same, but no, not French jokes.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, David. I'm afraid we're a little bit short on time, so we'll take a couple of quick ones from Zoom. Thank you, Helen, for tuning in from outer space and for waiting so patiently. Can we come to you next, please?
Yes, indeed. Can you hear me all right?
Yep. All good, thank you.
Fantastic. First of all, Sonia, congratulations.
Thank you.
And I was listening to Arne Slot this morning, because Liverpool, like yourselves, won the Premier League ahead of time, like a couple of weeks ahead of time. And he said he's going to make massive changes. He's going to rotate the squad hugely. And I wonder if there's a temptation for you to do that, sort of take the handbrake off and use the whole squad.
Yes, there is the opportunity to do that on the game on Sunday. I think for some players that's the opportunity to get a rest. I think again this last block has been really busy. I think some players will have to have this break to be ready to compete in the final games. But also, as I said, I think the good thing in Chelsea, you have depth in your squad. You have quality enough to be ready to perform again on Sunday. Some players didn't play that much in the recent games, so I think for me it will be the opportunity to find the right balance between having fresh legs, but also giving the opportunity for some players to rest.
Okay, my last question, final question is, because you've been at Lyon and at Chelsea, you've played Barcelona more than anybody else in the Champions League, I think, probably. I think that's probably about right.
Yeah.
And I wonder, what you were putting your Chelsea allegiances to one side for a second. What advice would you give to Arsenal and René Slagers about how to take on Barcelona?
I could give some advice, but I think René Slager is a really good coach. They have a really good team and also great talent in the squad. I think she knows exactly what she needs to do. I think probably if you want to beat Barcelona, you will have to be at your best, but also hoping for them not to be at their best, because I think when they are in that situation, when they play the best football, it's really difficult. But maybe one advice, but I'm sure she knows already. If you are able to score the first goal, I think, Barcelona is maybe a team who is not used to that, and you can probably make them under pressure a little bit, but you need to be consistent in the game, even if you open the score. So hopefully they will be able to do that, and it will be probably a big help for them.
Are you going to the match?
I didn't decide yet, but I would love to, because I think it would be a really good final. And again, having an English club in the final is something really good. So I will be, not cheering for Arsenal or Barcelona, none of them, but I will be happy to watch a really nice football game.